Timotab, and today I'm going to solve Pinball Machine by Will Power. This is a lovely looking puzzle, clearly reminiscent of a pinball machine, so I'm looking forward to it. Well, if you'd like to try it for yourself, it'll be the first link in the description. Let's have a look at the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every box. Anti-king sells a chess king's move apart cannot have the same number. So if that were a 1, then this would not be allowed to be a 1. Renban, numbers on purple lines are each a set of non-repeating consecutive numbers in any order. So there'll be 4 digits there that are consecutive. German whispers, numbers on green lines are at least 5 apart from their neighbours on the line. So if that's a 3, this must be an 8 or a 9 in order to be at least 4, yes, at least 5 away from it. Dutch whispers, numbers on red lines are at least 4 apart from their neighbours on the line. So if this was a 3, this would have to be a 7, 8 or 9 to be at least 4 apart. The thermometer, numbers on the thermometer increase from the bulb. So the digits are going to increase along here. Killer cages, numbers in cages sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage, so those 2 digits will sum to 14. KROPKI pairs, numbers with a white dot between them are consecutive. So those 2 will be consecutive. Not all possible dots are shown, so it's perfectly possible for those 2 to be consecutive. Okay, I am going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. All right, let us start with this 10 cage. There's only one way to put 4 digits into a 10 cage like that, and that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, because that's the lowest 4 digits that you can use, and that sums to 10. So I guess technically the RENBAN wasn't needed here, but it's nice for aesthetics compared to the others. Same goes here. The RENBAN not strictly necessary, but we have 6, 7, 8, and 9, the 4 highest digits that sum to 30. Now, this cage normally would have quite a few options, but I need all 4 of the digits to be consecutive, and that means that the average digit is 4.5. So I'm going to have 4 and 5, and then 3 and 6 on the outside of that. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. Up here, we get 13 is half of that. So 6.5, so 7 is going to be the, 6 and 7 is going to be the middle pair, and then 5 and 8. Okay, 14 is going to be either 6, 8, or 5, 9. Oh, and this can't be 5 or 6. So that can't be 8 or 9. Let's have a look at this. We have 2 options for each cell, because I think this is 8 cells long. Yeah, it is indeed 8 cells long. It only doesn't go into row 9. So that's 1 or 2, 2 or 3, 3 or 4, 4 or 5, 5 or 6. That's interesting. 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. That gives us a 5, 6 pair in this box, so that can't be a 5. So that's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. This 13 cage. So, secrets of German whispers. I can't put a 5 on a German whisper, because if I had a 5, I would need either 0 here or 10 there, or less than 0 or more than 10. Those aren't valid Sudoku digits. Next, I can't put digits that are from the same side of 5 next to each other. So I can't put 2 digits from 1, 2, 3, and 4 there, because if I tried that, then the maximum difference between those would be 3, but we have a requirement of a minimum difference of 5. So, and the same would happen if I tried putting 2 high digits there. Therefore, either those 2 are high and this is low, or those 2 are low and this is high. So if these two were high, I think that's going to have the stronger problem because of the 13. If those two are high, the smallest I can keep them to would be 6 and 7, with that being a 1, and that makes 14. So those two are not high, those two are low, so from 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is from 7, 8, and 9. I can't have a 6 here because these two would both have to be a 1. That one's not a 4 by Sudoku, that one's not a 2. Let's see, if this were a 4, then that would have to be 9, and that makes 13, and so that's going to bust the cage. So that is not a 4. If this were a 7, this would be a 1-2 pair, which only makes 10. So that can't be a 7. Okay. That gives me an 8-9 pair in the row. 9. Okay, if this were 8, 2, and 3 would work. 8 plus 5, or 9 plus 4, 8, 1, and 3. So there's definitely a 3 in one of those two, but I don't think I can get any further than that just yet. That 8, 9 in that 10 cage makes this a 1 or a 2. Okay, with my anti-king, those two cannot be sorry, this cell in particular, with the anti-king, cannot be 2, 3, or 4. So if it's low, it has to be a 1. If it's high, well, it can't be 8 or 9. So if it was 6, that would have to be a 1. If that was 7, that would have to be a 1 or a 2. Neither of those things is possible because of this 1, 2 here. So that isn't high, that is low, can't be 2, 3, 4, so that's a 1. That makes this a 2. Those are not 2s, and that is. That gives me a 2 in one of those two. Those are not 2. That can't be a 2 by anti-king, so that's a 2. That means that is not a 2. That does give me a 1, 3 pair, making 4. That makes that 9. That makes this 8. And so this is 6, and this is 5. That does not help with this. But these 3 digits are now 7, 8, 9. That means that one of those two is a 6. And that is not, because I have a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple in the row. So those are not 6, and one of those two is. In fact, those are not 4, so one of those two is a 4. That means I need a 1 and a 2 to complete this row. That has to be a 1, that has to be a 2. That gives me 6 for this 23 cage. So that leaves 17. That has to be a 9, 8 pair. That's the only way to make 17 in 2 digits. So that makes that a 7. That 8, 9 pair makes that a 6, 7 pair. That is not 7, that's an 8, 9 pair. That removes 8 from here and places 8 in one of those two. Okay. This is a nice puzzle. These 3 digits are 2, 7, 9, and that can't be 2 or 7, so that's 9. That is a 2, 7 pair. That makes these 2 digits a 4, 5 pair. And then these are 1, 3, and 8. So 3 is definitely there, 3 is not here, so that's a 5, 6 pair. That removes 5 from here. We already had 5 gone from there from that. Okay. Nine can't be there because of that 8, 9 pair. So 9 is in one of those 3. And that, this is very nice, that makes this 9. It's the only place for it in this box. That makes that an 8. And that is not an 8. That makes this 7 for the white dot. That is no longer 7. That's not 7 by king. Have I been saying anti-knight? I quite possibly have, and I've been meaning anti-king. I've been doing anti-king. I might have said anti-knight when I meant anti-king. All right, so that 7 is looking down. That's a 2. That's a 7. This is a high digit and is not a 6. So that is, it's not an 8 either. So that's a 7 or a 9. Okay. Two is in one of those two. Oh, this 23 cage. The only way I can put 3 digits in a 23 cage is 6, 8, and 9. So that's a 9 there. So that's not a 9, that's a 7. So 7 is in one of those two. In fact, that's not a 7, that's a 6. That has to be a 7. And we still don't know what that is. These 2 digits, however, that's interesting. These 2 digits in this column are 8 and 9. That gives me an 8-9 pair here, which means that's not a 9. That digit can't go there, and it can't go elsewhere in this cage, so that digit goes there. Let's give that a colour. That is therefore not a 1. And now this, but that's the other, that's a 1, that's a 3 or a 4. This then must be a 5. That resolves my 5 and my 6 over here. That resolves a 4 and 5 here. That digit is in one of those two. That digit is there. And that digit can't be 3 or 4. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's the other of 3, 4. 3, 4 pair in the row. This should be a 5, but it can't be. That's a problem. What have I... All right, let's have another look. That digit can go up there. That's the problem. Let's revisit this row. Where does 5 go in this row? It can't go here, obviously. That's a 5. Okay, now this digit does go up here, because that can't go there. So that one goes there, and this one goes here. So that means that they are from 1, 3, and 4, and one of those is a 1. Six is in one of those two. That means I've got a 6 here and a 6 here. So that's all of the 6s for columns 1 and 2. So where does 6 go in this column? I don't know, but that it certainly isn't there. Okay, this digit is a 1, 3, or 4, but it's not a 4. So that's a 1 or a 3. So that is also the orange digit. So that is not 4. That is not 4. That puts a 4 in this column. Should I colour 8s and 9s? Oh, that 9 is looking at that by King's move, so that's an 8. That is now a 6-9 pair. That is not an 8, and that is. That 8 is looking up here, making that 9 and that 8. Eight is in one of these two cells. That's a 2-8 pair. There is no 8 there, but 8 could be here or one of these two. 1, yeah, we know that 1 in this column is one of those two. In this, this 5 is looking down. That's a 6. That's a 5. So this is 1, 3, or 4 to complete the column. I don't think I know which colour it is other than not orange. Right, that 1 means that that's not a 1 by King's move. So that's a 1. Orange is 1. Okay. So that's not a 1. These 3 digits to complete the column are 5, 7, and 6. Neither of those can be 7. So that's a 7. That can't be a 6 because of this 6-9 pair here. So that's a 6. That's a 5. That 6 means that this is 9 and this is 6. This 6 means that this is a 2 because this is a Dutch whisper line difference of 4. That makes that 8. This is 1, 3, or 4, and it can't be 1 or 3 by Sudoku and by King. So that's a 4, that's a 3, that's a 1, that's a 3, that's a 1. Okay, that 3 is looking up, making this a 4 and this a 3. This 4 is looking up, making blues 3s and reds 4s. I think my colour has served its purpose, so I will clear that. These 2 digits are 9 and 3. And this one can't be a 9 because of this. So that's a 9, that's a 3. That is now 5 or less, and it can't be 1, 3, or 5, so that's 2 or 4. Okay, these 2 digits, well, that must be a 1. This one must be a 4 to complete the box. So that's now 2. This 9 is looking across. That's 8. That's 9. That's 8, which I could have done once I'd got that 2 in because of the 10 cage. That's 9. That's 8. let me see, these 3 digits are, well, that's not 7, so that's 7. 4 and 5 go in, 5 here and 4 here. 4 now cannot go there or there, so that makes that 4 and that's 6. These are 2 and 3, so that's the 2, that's the 3. This 6 is looking down, giving me a 7 and a 6. These 2 here are 5 and 9, which we can place. And then these 2 are 3 and 6, which again we can place. And that was a fun puzzle. Apart from my little hiccup with an assumption along here, which I quickly realized was incorrect, and putting the 5 in there instead. Yeah, I think I said that this digit had to go here, where it had an option here as well. Anyway, that was a fun puzzle. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Willpower, for creating it. If you like this solve, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see some more. And I would love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.